Bamurru Plains Lodge is located to the west of the Kakadu National Park, right on the Mary River floodplains. There's an amazing mix of birds and wildlife right on the doorstep of this very unique bush lodge. The top end is renowned for its spectacular coastal floodplains that empty into the Arafura Sea each wet season. The prime season for the runoff is from February to May each year, and the Bamurru airboats are the ideal fishing platform to chase down a barra in this pristine freshwater environment.
What are we in for here?
Well, what happens, your water will drain off into your creek beds out there. We have Swim Creek 1 and 2, which we mainly fish. Those channels can be a couple of metres deep, and they're approximately from 2 metres wide up to 5 metres wide. So you're fishing in a very, very small area. Yeah, we'll head out in the floodplains and see what we can pick up. Some nice barra out there. Quite regularly, we can get up around the 60 centimetre mark to 70. Sometimes it'll be the bigger ones. A lot of smaller stuff around the 40s. Yeah, so it's just a lot of good fun out there. The floodplain will run depending on the wet seasons. We've had a bit of late wet this year, which has been great, so we've still got plenty of water. So you're looking anywhere from February through until maybe May, June. May will be your best on it, because then your weather starts getting a bit cooler anyway for the boat. Yeah, well, the airboats, as you can see, they're an aluminium hull. They're like a punt design, and we have a Chevy 502 motor on the back of them, and they're driven by propellers. And they only go forward, you don't have a reverse or a brake on them, so it's all up to the fins at the back to move your air through and judge which way you're going. And they're great because you can go through just a few inches of water, 50 mil of water, and you can get through those areas, and they'll cut across all the thrush grass out there as well. So you can get into some great spots where no boat would actually ever get in. Well, years, I couldn't imagine a propeller trying to go through any of that water out there.
Alright, here we are out on the Swim Creek floodplain, which is part of the Mary River system. We're down here with Bamurru Plains Lodge and Andrew, our mate over there, driving the airboat for us. This area is very rich with fish life. As you can see, there's fish, tarpon and bait fish busting in the background. We're chasing some small freshwater barra today. Well, barramundi, probably not as big as we would have liked. Beautiful little specimen of a barramundi. You can see the dark coloration in it. That's pretty common with the freshwater fish that spend all their life in freshwater. This little fish, he'd be under a year old, probably more like 4 months, 5 months old. And what he'll do is he'll stay up here in this freshwater environment where there's lots of food, fatten up, and as he gets older and bigger and gets a bit more sexually mature, we'll head down to the river mouth to spawn. Yeah, there's plenty of those little fellas up here. He's a bit bigger, but still wouldn't go the legal size. We've got that fella on the little black gurgler. See the weed guards there? Pretty much a necessity in this sort of country. The barra are sitting right back in the weeds. This is the only way you can get them in there without snagging up every cast. That one did the trick. He come up and smashed it off the top. Once again, a nice little barra, but he's darker fish. He's probably spent his whole life up in the fresh, gorging on this just plethora of... Get him back in the water.
Now mate, we've got up here in this airboat, does that mean you can't access in an ordinary craft is a bit difficult?
Yeah, you just wouldn't be able to get here in a normal boat, Bill.
Okay.
I mean, that's the beauty of the airboat. If this spot's not firing, we can shoot across the floodplain and try another spot. You know, in a normal boat, you're pretty much stuck where you are, or you got to go for
So
miles.
where exactly are we fishing here? The top end of Swim Creek. This, you call these barrages. That's a man-made obstruction to stop the salt water from getting up into these floodplain areas.
Yeah, that tree line you can see further down, that's the main barrage at the top of Swim Creek. Yeah, the pastoralists have put them in there to keep the fresh water up here, maintain the lush sort of grasses for the livestock. You've got them all these little channels running in here. It's a prime ambush spot, all the bait's flowing in. Yeah, if I was a barra, I'd be sitting right here waiting for a feed.
And we're trying some surface lures. I've got a frog on.
Yeah, I've got a gurgler on the fly rod.
On the fly rod.
We can hear a few little fish.
There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Look at that.
A few little fish just popping around on the surface like that. You know, they're not huge fish, but it's visual with the surface lures, and I think that's one of the real draw cards to this style of fishing. You see the fish come up and eat your lure, which is, I reckon, one of the best parts about fishing. We're getting into the smaller fish up here at the moment. We've caught quite a few. But yeah, we'll go and check out Andrew's other secret spot. See the way that's rigged? It's rigged so it's going to ride weedless, get through all these reeds and grass that we're fishing in here. The barra right in amongst it, so if you're not getting your lure in there, you're not getting any strikes. So I've switched to this weedless style lure. Pretty effective. The hook point isn't exposed. It rides hook point up, so most of the time it's going to ride over any obstacles, but the hook point's also flat up against the body of the plastic. But when the barra does hit it, the plastic squashes away and the hook penetrates its mouth. You don't get as good a hook up rate, but when the fish are hungry, they tend to hook themselves. Oh, I got you. You got another little one, Bill? What did you get this one on, mate?
Storm soft plastic.
Rigged weedless again?
Oh, actually, been getting so many hits, actually exposed the hook point.
Yep.
So, and just keeping it a bit out of the weed. Yeah, you can grab it out.
It often pays with these little fish like this because they're so feisty and they have got a lot of spikes on them. To get a pair of lip grips on them straight away just saves a lot of pain later. Well, we've changed spots here. We've come to Andrew's secret spot number 3. First cast, Bill's got a fish, so things are looking up. The actual water levels are pretty high. Still, we've had a late wet season. Water's still right up over the floodplains. I mean, and so are a lot of the fish, so they haven't actually dropped back down into these channels as yet. Got another one on here. I've just changed tactics. Like Bill said, we were getting lots of hits, not hooking up with the weedless plastic. We've got a bit of a bigger opening here so we can cast it and not actually land it in the weeds. Just a little Storm soft plastic.
Cane tackle for the floodplains. I'm using a thread line, 4 pound braid. In this case it's fins, 4 pound. Reason I use that, 4 is pretty light, but 4 pound original fins braid is pretty thick, pretty tough for a 4 pound braid. Actually rates about 12 pound break strain, I think. I've only got 20 pound fluorocarbon leader on. I know you like using 40, but I think with these smaller fish and they're a little bit harder to bite, I think the lighter leaders get you a few more hits.
Yeah, I think you're pretty safe with the lighter gear here. We're only sort of targeting small to medium sized fish. There's no real snags that can take us around. So yeah, the light gears actually increases the fun factor, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right. And with soft plastics, I mean, I like using lighter weight soft plastics. In fact, in some cases I've just been using them unweighted, so threadline gear is a lot better for me. But you can use your overhead gear if you want to, as long as it's a bit lighter weight.
Bit lighter
low
to
end of
cast
the scale.
The smaller lures, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using an 8-weight fly rod with a small clouser fly at the moment, and that seems to be doing the trick as well. Like I said, they're only small to medium sized fish, so this is ample.
They're certainly up that alley, aren't they?
Barramundi alley.
Yeah. Peas in a pod, mate. Floodplain Barra.
Yeah.
Golden, 40 centimetres.
Yeah, probably a bit under.
Bit
maybe
under?
35. These guys will probably spend the next year up here fattening up, Bill, and then they'll head out to sea, follow their sexual urges. That's a better. That's a better barra, Bill. Oh. Well, you're on the 4 pound fins, and you're still dragging him out of the weeds.
Yeah.
I'll bring him for you. Yeah, you looked a bit bigger on.
Yeah, long range cast.
A good way to hold these barra if you don't have grips is it's called a comfort lift. You can hold them on their side like that, and they'll generally just sit there. Well, we're getting plenty of numbers, Bill. We just need the bigger one. Slightly better one on here, Bill. Well, he won't go the legal 55 centimetre mark, but he's better than the other little schoolies we've been getting. He's actually a little bit silvery compared to the bronze models we've been getting earlier on this morning. Just ease him into the boat. Well, thanks Andrew, and thanks Bamurru Lodge. We've had a great morning's fishing. We've 3 hours, we've probably caught over 30 fish. Probably one of the better ones we've tangled with today. Just a great place to be, mate.